welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be budgeting for the second half of May, that is from the 16th to the 31st of May, and the amount that I'm working with is 18,060 rupees. My income sources are, from my private practice I have 16,540. This is 75% of whatever I've made from my private practice. 25% I put it aside into my business emergency fund that I keep in a separate savings account in the bank, and I have a carryover amount of 1520. This is the remaining balance of two categories that I budgeted for in the first half of the month. If you remember, if you saw my previous video, for my festival that was on the 15th of May, I budgeted 4,000 rupees, and there was also a travel expense that I budgeted 8,000 rupees. So I had some amount that was left from both of these expenses. For my festival I had budgeted 4,000 rupees, but the actual expense that happened was 2,840 rupees. So the remaining balance is 1,160. And for my travel expense I had budgeted 8,000 rupees, and the expense was 7,640. So the remaining balance that I have is 360. So when we add 1,160 plus 360, the amount that I get is 1,520 rupees. So this is the carryover that I've had here. So coming to my fixed expenses, I'll just keep my notebook like this. This feels better. My fixed expenses are those categories that occur every month, and whenever I budget, I try to budget my fixed expenses in the first half of the month so that in the second half of the month I can focus on other things. But this month I had extra expenses, the travel expense and the festival expense. These are things which don't happen each month, and because of that I couldn't budget for all of my fixed expenses categories in the first half of the month. And so today I'll be budgeting for my fixed expenses that were remaining, which I didn't budget for in the first half of the month. The first category is LIC. This is my insurance, and for this I always budget 2,460 each month. My siblings fund category always gets 1,000 rupees. Room rent, this always gets 4,500. For my subscription in the first half I budgeted 600, and this time I'll be budgeting 600, so that the total is 1,200. My subscription category is for my phone connection and for Netflix and for Tata Sky. So when I add all those up, it costs around 1,199 something. So 1,200 works really fine for me, and that is why I always set aside 1,200 each month. And for my ration category I always budget 3,500, but this time I'll be budgeting 3,000 only, and I will try to let this work for me. And this is because it's a little bit of a tight budget, and I'll have to make do with it. So when we add all this up, I had already done the math earlier, so I'll just write it down. It adds up to 11,560 rupees. And 11,560 minus 18,060 rupees, the remaining balance is 6,500. Coming to my variable expenses, food and groceries, I have decided to put 2,500 because the first half also I budgeted 2,500 for it, and it worked out fine for me. And this half also I have decided to put 2,500. And for my monthly expenses, I am putting the remaining 4,000 that's left. So that leaves us with zero balance. So into my savings and goals, I am not putting anything this time because I don't have anything to put into it. But as long as I can fund for my fixed expenses and also have my variable expenses covered, it's fine, because savings is something that I can focus on again next month also. For me, I have found that budgeting is more of a psychological thing for me. If I feel like I don't have enough money to cover for the expenses that's necessary for the month, then I start to panic, then I start to spend more. I start to dip into my savings more, and I'll just, go berserk. Although I'm sad that I'm not able to put anything into my savings and goals this time, but at least everything is covered. So that gives me peace of mind. So that's all for the budgeting part. And now coming to my cash stuffing part. I have started to cash stuff again, and I cash stuff for my food and groceries and also for my petrol. But petrol is something that I budget in the first half of the month, and it was fully funded for the month. Therefore, I didn't budget for petrol this time. And for my monthly expenses, this I like to keep it in my checking account because it becomes so much more easier for me for online transactions and everything. So I keep my monthly expenses there in my checking account, and food and groceries I will be cash stuffing 2500. So I have 2500 here. 1000, 12, 14, 16, 18, 2000, 21, 22, 23, 24 and 25. I have some money here from the first half, and I have 70 rupees. So yeah, I have 2500 and 2570 rupees in food and groceries for the second half of the month. This should be okay. And for my petrol, I still have 200, 400, 5, 6, 750. I still have 750 in my petrol envelope. So I think I won't be using this money because I still have petrol in my car, and I don't think that I'll be filling any petrol anytime soon. But if there's remaining money, that would be a good thing. So that's done for the cash stuffing part. So that's all that I have for today. And if you're still watching, do consider subscribing and also do press the like button. I hope to see you in my next video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.